First call meeting to order. Approval of minutes, October 18th, 2023.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. A ratification of all actions taken from April 1st to March 23 to March 31st, 2024.
Move it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Affirmation of board members. I haven't heard anything from the mayor of any changes, so a motion to affirm
Well,
all.
we would remove Steve. Demio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, he's ex officio anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
the
we
rest,
have, Vin is president, Phil is vice president, secretary and treasurer.
Okay, so moved.
and then we'll add Bob into the list. Yep.
Second? Second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's the annual meeting. Now we're gonna do the regular meeting.
Real meeting.
That was just.
Joe got all excited. Look at
I would have buy a cake. All right, let's call the regular meeting to order. Approval of the minutes, September 18th, 2024.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Real property acquisitions and dispositions. Who's gonna handle that?
Bob?
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 Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I'm here.
Hello.
Can everyone hear? Hi,
Make that
hi,
Bob.
can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So the update on VSA 1 is the company has asked for what would now be a second amendment to the purchase and sale agreement. The company is removing the rec center component of their overall project. And it still desires to purchase the real property upon which that rec center was contemplated to be constructed. The apartment units are being more spread out throughout the entire parcel. There, you should have a resolution before you. Exhibit A to the resolution shows the contemplated schematic of where the two hotels, which have, that they're not changing, would be constructed. And it shows the new conceptual layout of the apartment units. They're going from 120 to 110 units. So, and then the schedule slightly changes. There's only 3 phases now. First phase is to build the hotel, the first hotel, and you can, and in Exhibit B, you can see there's a table of the timing. Second phase is the second hotel, and the third phase is the apartment units. The good news here is, in the prior iteration, completion of the project was, I believe, without having it in front of me, was contemplated to be 60 months, and now we're down to 48 months, or maybe it was 72 months, and now it's 48 months. So the request before the board is to approve of the amended project as described within the resolution. We have a very simple amendment to the purchase sale agreement, which would memorialize these changes. The developer attorney indicates to me that upon this corporation approving of the amendments that you're looking at today, it can then proceed with its final application to the City of Utica Industrial Development Agency. And then just bigger picture, it's a little unclear what due diligence remains. You might recall last month you extended the due diligence period by 90 days. That will close on January 5th. I asked the council if the corporation approves this project amendment, and assuming the IDA approves of the pilot before the end of the year, is it possible that we could close on the real property transaction before the end of the year? And just so everyone knows, there's really nothing else for this corporation to do. We've done everything. The ball is completely in purchaser's court. The only item left is the standstill agreement with Canal Corporation, and I guess which we contemplate as a pretty simple First Amendment to the already existing one to describe the timing and the new project as proposed here today. The environmental easement is done, as a condition of closing. So other than the standstill agreement, which is a work in progress, I don't see any reason why this corporation wouldn't be in a position to close. So I'm just confirming that we're good to go, assuming this board approves this resolution that's before you.
So Bob, you made an inquiry of the proposed purchaser as to whether or not they're prepared to close upon the execution of this agreement prior to year's end. What was their response?
The lawyer said he's unsure. He would get back to me. He didn't get back to me. In any event, their due diligence does run till January 5, and they have 30 days thereafter to close. So if we don't do anything, this is hopefully a first quarter 2024 closing, 2025 closing. I was pushing hard to close before the end of the year because we're in really good shape. They don't need financing, and we've done all of our pre-closing requirements have been met. So I was hopeful we could close before December 31. So I guess that was Bob Kelly, I guess, asking that question. Haven't heard back from Developers Council, but to manage everybody's expectations, worst case is we close probably sometime in February of 2025. Best case would be we close in December of this year.
So what I would ask you to do is, Exhibit B talks about 6 months after closing, 18 months after closing. I would ask that you put the specific dates that are no later than whatever that date is, February, so that there are specific targets for which they have to be bound by.
So closing dates
That's
defined.
6 months after closing in terms of construction, closing to occur no later than pursuant to the contract, no later than whatever, February of 2025. So that there are specific delineated language in the agreements as to when the closing date is to be worst case scenario.
So the closing date's a defined term in the purchase sale agreement.
So,
And so it would be duplicative, and if those dates change again, right, it's very easy to amend them with, and I'm not advocating this, I'm pointing out what the board's already done though. You already amended those dates last month when you agreed to extend the feasibility period, but you don't have to define each one of those terms every single time. Closing date is a defined date, 30, which is 30 days after the feasibility period ends. We know that January 5, so we know closing has to occur.
I get that, Bob.
Default.
Is there any harm in reiteration? That's my point. I don't think there's any harm in reiteration. Because dates have come and gone over the course of the last, whatever period of time that you guys have been negotiating it. I just think it should be reiterated what the deadline for closing should be. And the other, so you don't have to answer that right now. Is the UIDA agreed in principle with some to an agreement in principle with these people?
Well, it hasn't gotten to you, UIDA yet.
I need a new application for each of these projects because I'm going to treat them separately.
They've agreed to triple.
Because I understand that you guys have renegotiated
Yes.
what the terms of the pilot are.
They've agreed to triple their
they've
pilot
agreed.
payment.
Okay. As it relates to the entertainment facility, does it change the purchase price?
No.
Why are they eliminating?
So I think it's a critical
It's not
element,
what
and I
they
agree with Lou. I think it's a
It's
critical
not
element.
what they typically
Is
do.
it now, the street rumor is that it's now part of the Nexus project, that it's going to be the entertainment, the Eshes of the world want the entertainment facility in close proximity to Adirondack Bank Center and Nexus. So is it being moved strategically off of Harbor Point to Oriskany Boulevard?
No, they just didn't have any interest in doing it, couldn't find anything that they could run. Wanted to do the apartments. They're talking about, I think, townhomes now, Bob, instead of apartments, right? So
So are we still looking for as we sit here today, a potential entertainment proposal
In the
from
harbor,
a third party in the harbor?
no, the only thing we're looking at is whatever Rob's gonna do. And the 33 building and whatever we find for the 17 building.
So this is a potential, the entertainment piece is a potential component of DRI in the White, along Risking Street.
Yes,
That's
Yeah.
conceptually what the
Conceptually, yeah.
thought is. The reason I ask is that someone made an inquiry that entertainment was off the table and wanted to know if in fact it was still harbor related. They might have an interest in a harbor related facility, but I'm certainly not going to steer them down that road if in fact it's
would they be interested?
not related.
Okay, 17 building, or don't you know?
They just ask about entertainment. They think that hotels making a bad
Why
decision.
17 buildings fall through?
No, I just didn't know. We haven't had anything from Sal. I didn't know if he was still
They
interested.
listen to Sal, nobody calls him and talks to him.
Okay,
Well, the person just thought that entertainment is, as a result of what's taking place as Nexus, is a no-brainer. And he's surprised from a cash cow standpoint that he is abandoning that concept.
Yeah.
Isn't that building that land that he's next to Nexus, where he was gonna build apartments, or the bottom part was gonna be entertainment, correct? I mean, we haven't heard nothing on it, but originally, the plan is to build like dorms and apartments where people can.
That was the previous plan.
Yeah.
I met with him recently regarding DRI, the city's DRI application. He's looking at the potential for a hotel. Mixed use, but hotel as well for the residential portion. Which will be put into the city's DRI application. And connected to the Nexus.
So what do you need? Mr. Chair?
motion to approve, second. Owen?
Second.
I was gonna say, we can.
All in favor? Opposed? So moved. Jones Chemical, Bob? Anything on that?
Is Melanie with you, Bob?
I am here.
Okay, okay. I just wanted it for the minutes. Thank you.
So for Jones Chemical, we have a draft contract that's gone back and forth between us and Jones Chemical. We still have a few blanks in the contract to address funding sources, timing of funding. We don't have clarity on that yet, on where the money's coming from, and when it's available.
Does
So we'd like to get that.
The state allow for that or no? Okay. All right,
The money for that is coming in the ESD reimbursement was the plan.
okay, that's what I thought.
Thank you.
I didn't know you were there, Paul. I thought you were in the air.
Yeah, no, I'm here. Yep.
All right, anything else on Jones? No? National Grid? What are you talking to National Grid?
Lisa, you.
Paul has just your regular monthly
I'm sorry.
meetings?
I'm here. Yeah, we had the monthly meeting and yeah, nothing new really. We've been sharing them with them the idea of the loop to Harbor Bridge and where the trail network could go to, attach to that. There's a small easement that eventually we would need to negotiate with them if, once we get to that point. But they've just been updating us on the substation and we just have been in turn updating them and what we think is the next stages of work that would impact the National Grid side. So
Okay. So nothing major. Okay, Promenade.
nothing major. Promenade is we're done. We're just working on the final invoice. Final invoice approval. Well, there's a couple minor little things that we got to take care of, but they might have already taken care of them. But so we're just trying to get everything closed out. We should be closed out by the end of this month. So the contractor will be completely offsite.
Perfect. Licensing agreement, Bob, have you heard anything back from, Bill Boral on anything?
No, I haven't heard back. Um, have not heard back then.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we sent the license, sent a form of license, use and occupancy agreement to the city, which would allow the city to use the promenade area, parking lot area, use it, manage it, maintain it. And then the longer term plan is to convey fee title to the property to the city. For procedure, just for the board's recollection, you might ask, why don't we just convey right now? There's several procedures that this corporation has to follow, which would take at least 90 days if we started those procedures right now. We're not quite ready to start those procedures, but we can certainly license the use of the property to the city, allow the city to occupy and the public to access the site immediately upon execution of that license agreement. And then we can, in a reasonable manner, address the statutory requirements that would allow this corporation to convey fee title sometime next year.
So are we waiting for the city, Bob? Are you all set on your end?
We're all set. We've drafted the agreement, Vin, and we have not heard back from the city.
Okay, so we'll get on that.
Does the licensing agreement require council?
Yes.
One key thing, I'm sorry to interrupt. Ben,
They were asking if it requires council approval,
The license agreement?
the license agreement, Paul, that's what question was.
that's really Bob. License
Bob.
agreement approval is.
I would think so, but I'm not the corporation counsel, so I don't know, and that's why we sent it to the corporation counsel. So I don't know procedurally what the city has to do.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do with between the mayor and Bill.
Hey, Ben.
I'm with Stephanie in a little while, so I'll ask her too if she has an update.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, Paul.
Hey, Ben, and one key thing on that, because it relates to reimbursement on the ESD. So, we have accounting of about $150,000 in cost. Some of that, a small portion of that is for the GDA payment with 1%. That's about $4,600. So that's got to get paid in order. That's the dollars that need to go in with when you sign the grant disbursement agreement, and we can't get the $460,000 back until that grant disbursement agreement is signed and we put in the reimbursement paperwork.
Okay. Got it. Okay. 17 building.
That license agreement moves along.
Yeah, we'll get that moving. I'll go to Bill's house.
I haven't heard anything on 17 with regard to South Russo. I talked to him about a month ago, maybe. He's still interested. He's interested in what's going to happen with the upcoming grant application.
Okay. Is that what you understand, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. Long Valley Garden. Anything new there? I know he's working with the state to get some funding.
Yeah, he is working with the state for funding on his new build portion. We've coordinating with him on what is in the LDC's application with regard to don't worry. With regard to the work we're doing, so that when we do the flood resiliency work and raise the floors and in the 33 building, it all connects appropriately with the new build. So there's been some level of coordination with the MB Edge team, the MVG team on those components.
Okay. ESD and Canal Corp. We talked about the ESD. What about the Canal Corp grant? Where are we with that, Paul?
I think Brian is the last. Yeah.
I reached out to Jackie Schillinger and asked her about it. She apologized profusely for it taking as long as it has. Apparently, we're still on their radar screen. The money's still,
Allocated.
there.
Available.
Yes, so she was gonna pull her team together and, get back to me as soon as she could.
Good. CFA, and that, right? Should we be putting something forward for that?
That's more Paul, he was the one,
Oh, I'm sorry, I was thinking of DRI. Paul, CFA?
Yeah.
I think we're just waiting for an
CFA, that's the pro housing grant. That is, they're looking at it. We're getting questions back from ESD, so we're feeling pretty good that we're a grant that will be funded. I don't know if we're gonna get everything we asked for. We asked for 3 million, but we'll see what happens.
And Brian, DRI.
Now you're right.
DRI is due by Friday at 4, working on it, includes several projects for the harbor,
Do you need anything from us to sign or anything, or it's just gonna be part of the project?
part of the application.
Okay. Good. Any other business before the board? No, anybody? Motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Second? I get a second? Joe?
Second.
Lou? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.